Ladies and gentlemen, the LPL rewards you for your loyalty. Not only have you stuck around through thick and thin, but where all the games have been thick, but you've been through RNG and IG. Games 1, Game 2, now into a Game 3. Your loyalty is rewarded well. Welcome back. My name's JackeyLove. This is Barento Raz Muhammad, and this is a Game 3 that I came to party at, Raz. Let's hit it. Let's go. Because this is insane. Throw up TheShy, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. He was the MVP, and he was, in my opinion, absolutely bonkers. Please use that word.
Not a lot of people use bonkers, so I think in your opinion, bonkers is fine. Yeah, so
sure.
it's your words to use here. MVP picks it up. Rise! I mean, look, I know they just got their new coach, Coach Kim, not the old Coach Kim that went down one, new Coach Kim, old BBQ coach. I would give him that MVP.
Yeah.
Or TheShy, just because he wanted to pick the Vladimir. But no, it was the plays that TheShy ended up making in the late game team fights with that Rise pick that gave it to him. I think that in the side lane he did super well.
Yep.
But also when the team fight started coming through, he found himself in the side lane to be able to pick up JackeyLove fairly consistently.
That was a massive flank from TheShy. Just comes out of brush out of nowhere, and JackeyLove didn't even get a chance to play the fight.
Yeah, I mean, this has been 2 to 3 times within this game by this point that JackeyLove gets eliminated immediately. And as the Realm Orb comes through, JackeyLove is already repositioned to the right of the lane. Blown away. And you can look at now TheShy, because TheShy tries to respond to get all on top of Uzi, and I think he was that close having Crimson Rush to be able to get the kill across the wall to get the kill on towards Uzi. Really close to get 2 kills, but then that's RNG still all staying alive. They get Baron and follow that. That was the most influential fight in that series because that really just reined it in. Invictus Gaming were bleeding a little bit topside, but they were hoping that at least one of these team fights that they would outplay would come through so they can get Baron buff. That was RNG's.
Literally bleeding in the top side. It was 50 CS discrepancy early on for the Rise versus the Vladimir.
Yeah.
Intentional. This was a matchup that you stated before that was like very obvious. Who wins this matchup? What is going to happen? And TheShy took it in anyway.
He took it. He took it. Not only did he find himself losing all of his turrets plating, so the gold was just leaving his turret.
Dominant.
I don't know how turrets bleed gold, but they do. And then at that point, Sinya's CS advantage was there for the Rise. He got to a point where sure the solo kill came through, and that's excellent. Throw that on a highlight reel. But guess what? All those highlight players, they're not the best players in Challenger.
Yep.
Like that's the biggest thing to be able to say, that you can still get a highlight play. That's a great moment, but it's about how you end up winning the series, winning the game in particular. And that one, it was a struggle for him to get out of the side lane.
Yep.
It was TheShy that nailed him down and made it a lot easier for RNG to say, okay, we'll move towards the Baron buff, or at least the area, play fights towards red side jungler and make it a 4v4. If Vladimir leaves and joins for the fight, guess what? Rise gets himself a Nexus turret, maybe 2,
right.
long enough. Another back door that they have would be the 3rd one in the split. So that's how easy it was for RNG at that stage in the game. I would expect them to not go for the matchup anymore.
No. But it came to one of those team fights. It was 30, 35 minutes in. We know RNG best team fighting kings of the LPL.
Yeah.
They showed that on the world stage heading towards MSI. They still show that in the world stage for Worlds as well. But for Invictus Gaming, like, we know their strengths. We know that TheShy, the individual laners there for IG, are still their strongest merit, as we saw the 1v2 outplay on Rookie as well.
And what we need to see from RNG is to be able to combat that, not only in the laning phase, try and keep even if you can in the lanes, in the solo lanes that is, but they know they have to have, like, by far the better AD carry in terms of like how much he's been able to pump out the CS differences, like just the laning phase stats in the lane. And then of course in team fights he was able to be far more influential. It's hard for a Kalista in that portion of the game, especially when you lose the summoners in the first fight, to be able to do the same thing in the next fight. But even still, there's one fight that I remember handily where he just kind of jumps right in there, and he was like 3 people. This was when they were trying to contest for the Baron later on. So JackeyLove certainly didn't have the best games, trying to deal with people coming in at all angles, and I think that Uzi can take advantage of that. If you're RNG, not only do you play to Uzi, but at this stage, try and get your solo laners a decent enough matchup. And let's take a look at this.
Yeah, this is one now. This was a hard commit for Xiohu, and
Take
he
a look.
lived.
This was what I was talking about. JackeyLove finds himself straight in there. Now, of course, he has to flash to the left because Rek'Sai had found him, but he gets himself in these positions where they all in, and he's not able to get out far too often. So that's something he needs to recognize. He needs to stay alive for a lot longer, even if it means that they can't get the kill. Recognize that stopping them, like getting them a half HP, would probably stop them from getting Baron. You can look to stall out the game, but it turned into such a large snowball at the end.
Of course, TheShy was there to clean it up.
This is my favorite part. They stopped us from watching this within the game.
Yeah.
This is when we get to see the action right in there. Let me take that turret too. I want to see it all. He mitigates the ulti from Vladimir because he's in stasis, and then he's able to pick up the kill on towards TheShy. What was TheShy going to do at this point when he's right face-to-face with the Rise there? So great pickup from TheShy. It's nice to see him that confident on the stage in Game 2.
I love how the mid laners in both teams, and on Syndra Game 1, Syndra Game 2 as RNG enter the arena for the third and final game here, facilitating the top laners here. Junglers facilitating the mid laners. And around it goes here in this series until we finally get a natural conclusion, and that's it right here. There are going to be no substitutes here in this Game 3. IG have blue side, so we've had a full rotation of RNG on red once in Game number 2.
And what we saw from Game 2 pick and ban was RNG, even though they had outdrafted, it was still them not willing to play the Sylas. They had banned it out when they're on blue side. That says a lot towards what Xiohu and TheShy is willing to play. Now IG's back. You better believe they're not going to ban that out. That means that it's going to be an RNG that has more onus towards red side bans. I want to see what they end up picking for themselves on their first 1-2. I think the Kalista might come out there from Uzi. It's a possibility. I think it's a very strong pickup with Ming, who can go towards the Alistar, so you get that devastating combination. I want to see what we get out of this because RNG can get their 1-2 in their for their bottom lane, but they still have to deal and help out TheShy in Game 1, who was getting slaughtered by that Sylas.
He was.
So they need to deal with it.
Remember that for RNG in the bottom lane, Uzi, we haven't seen his Vayne just yet. Now, normally for JackeyLove, it hasn't been his high priority. He's been sitting on the Kalista a lot longer. We don't want to see that specific matchup, but Uzi has played a bit of Vayne. He's played his hyper carries. He's played them well. Tristana didn't go so well in Game number 1, so I'm curious here if there's a shift away from that said Karsa.
I think the Karsa, while it has shown a lot of flexibility within these team fights, it's still something you have to worry about in the laning phase. And the laning phase for me means a lot. So we might be foregoing that Karsa. I think if anything, it's going to be Invictus Gaming that ends up picking it up alongside, let's say, with the Galio.
If we fear the laning phase as IG ban away the Vayne as their first ban, and then Ming's Galio, which he's played 15 games on, then it makes sense.
Here we go.
Game 3, let's do it. Lissandra, the final ban. Sylas is there. Raz, I see Rek'Sai open if Ning wants to take it, or maybe he's Olaf.
There we go. Though Sylas getting banned is huge from RNG. Not going to be seeing that from TheShy with how much of a huge, big performance he had in Game 1. So Rek'Sai there from Ning, taking it away from Karsa. I think Rek'Sai is just that strong of a pickup. And I already pretty much layered it out for you. The Kalista was going to get picked. I'm surprised they went for a Galio. I do believe the Galio is much stronger in a team fight setting. But Ming's Alistar is just a great playmaker that can find himself as going straight through mid. So either way, I think that RNG gets exactly what they want from the bottom lane. It's how they were now going to be able to deal with the mid and top lane.
In previous games as well, haven't seen too many Uzi Kalista games. There has been prioritizing the Karsa, the Vayne, but with the Vayne banned away, it makes perfect sense. Now JackeyLove, 2 games of Kalista in this series. What does he go for next?
I want to see if he goes towards... Ooh.
Okay, lockdown starting here from IG. We know what the ice combo in the bottom lane does.
Ashe and Braum. That is a great duo to play through. Right now, if you're Invictus Gaming, you have Rek'Sai, Ashe, and Braum. The ability to just, of course, volley is amazing to be able to gain pressure and control in the lane.
Very true.
But then once you hit 6, I would even say, well, before 6, you have great skirmishing alongside Rek'Sai and the Braum passive. So you can work alongside that really well. But then when you hit 6, go straight through the bottom lane. So much kill pressure on the Kalista, she has to keep herself alive.
That she does. Help with the Olaf here. Karsa, his first game in this series, getting picked up. Going up against the Rek'Sai. We haven't seen this specific matchup just yet.
Olaf does very well. It is an OG, strong matchup versus Rek'Sai. Just out damages as a primary point. And then on top of that, his ultimate makes it so Rek'Sai can't even deal with him in terms of just his natural skirmishing power. Knock him up with your W and just try and have at him. But Olaf just deals way too much raw damage and can go straight through you. Seeing the CC that Ashe and Braum provides, he's like, perfect. Let me try and go into this composition. We already saw how effective it was in Game 1.
Oh, we definitely did. So on Game 3 on RNG's side, they'll start banning away the top mid flex that Rookie and TheShy have, just like RNG do. Quite rare that you see a double flex of the Rise in teams in the LPL at the moment. RNG and IG holding the cake, but also holding the Aurelia from TheShy.
Aurelia ban. This is when you start going through what Invictus Gaming can complete their composition with. It's going to welcome all the new, viewers out there just because at this stage, there's just, we're in a game 3. You get a lot of mind games at this point. The Rise being banned because not only has TheShy showcased he could play with an MVP performance in game 2, but 100%, TheShy and Rookie are insane Rise players.
They are.
So the fact that they're nailing down flex pick in the mid and top lane says a lot to what Invictus Gaming could throw at you.
It means that you know that the Vladimir doesn't have the Rise to go into. Different scenario here, IG. The Kennen locked on in. TheShy looks like he'll play the Thunder Little Midget and see what happens next.
I like that name. I'd probably replace it with that. And I think right now Invictus Gaming have a great flank composition. So TheShy picking up Kennen, it's a great blind pick for yourself. Right now, I think the best blind pick top laners, other than Silas, is Jace and Kennen, who have such great range in the matchup. I know Nico can come into that conversation as well. But it means now that TheShy can have great push in lane, if he has the setup with his jungler, can look for a dive bottom lane. It's Uzi right now who's stuck in the crosshairs.
Final pick, let's go.
That's it.
For the final game.
Now, Xiohu has played Vladimir mid in the past. I expect it to be a great flex, but we're seeing it. There we go.
Okay. Karma picked up in the mid lane. Well, hang on. Sorry, excuse me. Doombee's played the Galio mid, so it should hold.
We'll have to see when it comes through if it's the Galio mid, because Xiohu has played a whole lot of Galio mid.
He's also played a lot of Karma mid as well.
That's true. So it really comes down to the fact that if there is one person that has picked mage supports in the past and has started that trend, it has been Ming.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Uzi and Ming, who's been together for quite some time, how they like to view the laning phase, if they see Ashe and Braum, they want to find a way to get out of the laning phase alive or even ahead. So this is the first time that we're seeing a mage support in the bottom side of the map in the LPL.
Yeah. Because
I know if you're watching the LCK, you saw yourself that Navi and Morgana game. Well, guess what? This is kind of something you're starting to see now. Targon's getting nerfed and Morgana coming back. You're starting to see mage matchups come into light.
You have yourself still an sense that it gives attack speed when you have a Kalista there as well. Should be hopping away a lot faster. Not the most surprising thing in the world, considering that for Ming, this is what was known. Ming played things like the Janna, we know the Karma as well.
Yeah.
That's RNG's legacy down in the bottom lane. Support Uzi. Remember the finals against RNG. I'm not sure if we did see the Janna, but I know against EDG we definitely did from Ming. So in the champion wheelhouse once again.
It's just lane domination for these guys, and I know going up against Invictus Gaming, there's a whole lot of lane domination they had in 2018. 2018, they averaged just insane CS difference across the board.
Yeah.
20 mid, top lane, and the bottom lane had about like 10 to 15. So going up against a team that you know values the laning phase so much, seems like Uzi, RNG as a whole, are trying to match it in tow. This composition from RNG says about all that it can say. That bottom lane is going to be a primary focus right now, where Karma Shield, the Galio ultimate, all to save Uzi in a composition that Invictus Gaming want to look to dive him in.
The classic style of RNG. Internationally, you know what RNG about. Invictus Gaming, their lane dominance in this game 3. See what happens. TheShy on Kennen, the game open here as the best of one. Here it is. RNG versus IG. Our match of the week has come to this. Rowdy crowd, because this being the last game, this being in RNG's home arena, fans want a conclusion, one that is beneficial to them. TheShy, thank you kindly for the goal.
Just taking a look at it, lethal tempo makes a lot of sense. You already saw an example of what makes it so strong. It's just a fact that volley, not only is it great for being able to push the wave, is a great trading tool as well. If you try and trade into it,
this is a
you
big
face
commit.
the fire.
RNG need to make this work. Slow down by the Winter's Bite. Ming gets to slow himself. But Invictus Gaming going to pull up, but RNG Karsa needs to get something from this.
This is going to take some time. It's a bit of a Mexican standoff, because why would Karsa leave is the big question.
Yeah.
If he leaves, then he admits defeat and he has to pull away. Right now, Ning is already committed to this now, so it's going to be both teams trying to help their junglers attain either red buff.
Oh, it looks like
Ning
Xiaohu's
has
level
the flash,
2, Raz. Undertow, Winter's Bite again. Baolan's actually saved this jungle twice now.
But Karsa's taking a lot of damage. Now at least he can make use of it by attacking a little bit faster. We'll see who gets the smite.
Ming going face forward, 3 versus 2. Here comes Shielded Durant. Remember, I said level 2. Ning gets the smite down, but red is secured. First blood for Ming. Baolan running back to the safety of his turret. He flashes, and RNG open up game 3.
This is what happens when you're just not thinking sensibly. When you're Invictus Gaming in this situation, what do you do if you're Rek'Sai? How do you fight back on that one? Baolan had to go as far as to face check the bush so he can get to see what smite range it is. Ning commits so heavily towards it that suddenly he's just in fire of the 3 members. Of course, if you're not going to be able to get the smite, they're going to commit to the fight. Level 2, as you had mentioned previously, Xiohu is ready to pick it, so that's going to be Ning, who is so far behind now.
And Ming getting the kill as well means instant upgrade here of the support item. Level 1, back to lane. I'm not even sure he backed in. Colonel, or even the fan vote rather, 55 to 45. RNG sure feels like it here in this early game.
Well, this is the dream, right? This is the type of game when you get into solo queue, you go through the first 3 minutes, and you're either on one side of the team that you're like, oh, we win 100%, or you're saying, oh, FF15. Your jungler is so far behind here. Your bottom lane is being pushed in so heavily. That gold, that kill gold, is on the Karma now. Yep. So the damage that Karma was going to pick up in the lane that makes it hard to live as a Braum is going to double. So I want to be able to see right now how Uzi and Ming can take control of the lane when they have that Karma pickup.
Yeah, let's see when Ming goes back and picks up the Frost Queen's upgrade immediately on. Karsa's level 3 has an advantage, pops a pot, gets deep vision, returns to the jungle that made him famous in this game 3.
And this is the worst. I mean, this could easily turn into a dive. It's super easy to go for. It's just the question about who commits to it.
Oh, wow, Baolan's already so low!
Wow.
Doesn't get a chance to counteract Uzi! One turret shot too many. That is a miscalculation from the AD carry, though.
Yeah, I mean, Karsa and Xiohu had made the journey here. They were here. It's a little awkward now that the party is over. But they made the effort to come downside of this bottom lane because it was so easy. So once again, patience is key. There's no reason for Uzi to tank that out when he had, of course, Flash, but the friends were coming along.
No assist for the jungler of RNG as well. Meanwhile, Ning stealing away the red buff.
Do we have to see this again, though?
Yeah, we do. Right?
All right. Uzi was like, all right, the Braum shield was out. He can just go straight in for the extra auto attack. The slow that came and followed, and he went right back.
Pathing, he was clicking over the wall, Raz.
Yeah.
And he clicked in the middle of the wall, and it sent him right back into turret. Oh, man.
No excuses here. There's no minion blocking your way. That's just what your mouse is clicking.
Having said that, though, as Baolan, do not walk in there. Angry Viking.
That's when you realize the boogeyman underneath the bed does exist.
He does.
Yeah, he's right there. He's
and he's a hairy ape.
I didn't want that much detail.
Karsa, he's at a pretty even standpoint in this game. Hairy ape or not, Ning is caught back up. This is a big thing because with the wind wave pushed up, will not be spotted clearing his way to the bottom side where Karsa currently is, or was, as he just backed off.
Something to take note of is just the pressure on JackeyLove.
Mistakes from both AD carries, it seems. Flash forward. Red City! Give him another one, Raz! A 3-1 on Kalista.
I was already worried. Remember, JackeyLove is just sitting on the door and shield before he had to force to be taken back to base. He wanted to get a shove into this tower. He greeted for it and then, of course, died for it.
Both AD carries, yeah. Crowd sees the TheShy getting low. That's the feeling. TheShy, I mean, he's level 6.
Yes, Crimson Rush, he'd be fine. He'd be fine, he's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, man. I know you're worrying.
I'm worrying a little bit. We'll pick up the Cannon minion under it as well,
so
that's okay. TheShy actually farming very well, despite this matchup, but it's the bottom lane that we're now worried about.
Look, Berserker's Greaves got the shield to be able to move up a little bit closer to even slowed JackeyLove. There was no way for him to even come in alive in this one, just because he does have the flash to follow up. So for JackeyLove and Baolan, once again, they were working with the information that Ning was in the area, but that's not enough. You need him to physically be there if you want to be able to push that in. That is a Berserker's Greaves to a Doran shield. Yeah. Of course they're going to pick up the fight.
After Uzi backs, picks himself up. The Vampire Acceptor, maybe he hasn't backed just yet. That's a lot of gold sitting on him. Stop it. TheShy stops TheShy. Not going to be too worrisome. TheShy does have teleport to join back into lane. So nothing really to worry about here is the Vladimir.
Here we go. And this is exactly like game 1, except a little bit more secured for RNG, where it's more than just the bottom lane that has that lead. But Xiohu!
Yeah, he's too far forward in the lane, Raz. Shielded around. Here comes the paddle star. The paddling comes on in.
No!
What a flash! Xiohu forces one out of Ning. The response is Rookie gets the kill, but at the cost of the summoner of the jungler, while Karsa picked up the Mountain Dragon.
That had the potential of triggering the world when it came to Aftershock mid laners. Had he found an escape, out of all of that, I would have been so mad, but it's okay. The kill, the trade ended up happening. And the next one's going to be an Ocean Dragon, so you better believe they're going to go for bottom lane once again.
Remember, Karsa was down here. Ning should know.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, there's a Predator proc. He saw the Zoe, but it's too late. Undertow! Viking 1v1. That's the real 1400s for you.
That's 1400 IQ right there from Karsa. He consistently times objectives. Of course he knows that red buff's up after what happened in the level 1. And it starts from here. It starts from the fact that Rookie was able to get the kill on the Xiohu, but take a look at how much they had to commit to that. Ning had to flash to get the kill on the Galio, which means he didn't have the flash to get away from Olaf.
He can dive again. Olaf once more in the LPL looks so darn good. Baolan will be rendered once more. Ning rendered useless in this fight. 3 versus 2, RNG could just go again.
This is the saddest game Invictus Gaming has played.
Ning, what are you doing here? Justice punch! 5-1-1, Uzi on Kalista. Oh yes, give it to me again.
Up between 2 turrets. Massive amount of waves, and the next wave's gonna make it harder. Is it a cannon wave? Please don't tell me it's a cannon wave.
Raz.
Oh, it's a cannon wave.
It's a cannon wave, let's go.
Oh, it's all over.
Uzi still hasn't backed. Wave pushes
Gonna pick
in.
it up, thank God. I'm just worried. I'm always worried.
Look at Uzi backing now, Raz. What do we see next? Here we go.
Let's see, I mean...
Blade of the Ruin King outright. No, recurve bow's still there
He's got
early
it
in the
all,
game.
baby. He's got it all.
He does have it all, though. This for RNG is a 3k gold lead, just about. Make it 2. Let's be realistic. After what was amazing play in the bottom lane.
Sees them walking right back in towards the tower. Of course, you're low as well. Level 6 on Olaf. He's been ranking up on your Krugs, my friend. Get the kill on the Baolan. The only surprise is that IG comes right back, probably not expecting Galio. But if you see Rookie here, you'd probably expect the enemy mid laner be answering too. So here we go. Gets the kill too. I think the one takeaway, they probably didn't expect him there because the wave was just crashing in the mid lane. So they have no eyes on where Galio could possibly be.
True.
But they'd probably been expecting him to pick up the wave and push under tower. That's what people do in the LCS, like literally any other league, except for coming down with your team.
Xiohu's missed out a bit of CS just to make that roam possible. Rookie has a lead. So does the top side of the map, but it's all in the bottom. Raz,
what's up?
Said it in Champion Select. What are RNG looking at? The bottom lane. The bottom side of the map for RNG looking great as the poke continues to come through, and now Ning has to make a response somewhere else.
It's the Aftershock game, my friend. Let's see what they can do to get the kill on towards Xiohu.
Trouble Bubble doesn't land. The crowd goes wild. They know what this means. Ragnarok Lothbrok is available there for Karsa. Level 7, remember, has the level advantage for Ning, and he just won't leave this bottom side alone.
At this point, Karsa is the most predictable man in the world. If he knows that you're bleeding on your left eye, you better believe all of his punches are going to be going straight towards the left eye. So right now, he knows that the Raptors are up, that Rek'Sai is going to be in the area, that he knows that the bottom lane is going to get the tower, so why not just be there to be able to give it to them?
Yep.
If it's a fight that IG wants bottom lane, they'll take it too.
Saw before what the gold was at. Uzi about 2,000 ahead of JackeyLove. Now, of course, the Ashe, you know that when it falls behind, it's okay in some situations. Might not be as relevant in the team fights, but the pick potential's still there for Invictus Gaming. That's what we look at the composition at. There's Rookie and JackeyLove, and now Uzi and Ming actually moving to the top side of the map.
Working with the information that you don't have. Baolan's up here, but guess who's not? That's Ashe. Ashe is all the way bottom lane and has decided at the last minute to move on up. That's a lot of time wasted on your AD carry. Where idealistically, you would have at least even members here in comparison to RNG. RNG is expending, of course, the full bottom lane to be here. So this, I don't think, is going to work. But IG is desperate.
Yeah. You saw Predator proc there by Karsa. RNG
Here
not
we
as
go.
desperate. He was coming in
One
fast.
more ward. Cue it, baby.
Ming going to be found by 2.
That was
3 of RNG
anticlimactic.
there. Yeah, not as exciting as we thought it would be, Raz. But that's okay. Because for RNG still, 8 kills on their side in this game. They've already found the first turret and just keep roaming around. Xiohu has ultimate available as well as TP.
At the moment, I would expect if IG even try to trade for Dragon, this is always the biggest worry for teams that are behind, that are trying to make plays happen. Don't go for the Dragon. Because if you try to make that trade a reality, and it's an Ocean Dragon, well, what happens if it turns into a Mountain Dragon or an Infernal Dragon? We'll see with this play being made.
Xiohu caught out, or is it Ning? Half health already, bursted down by Rookie, but Karsa.
Where are you going?
Lost activated. Best show on television. I think best jungler on the Rift right now. Still following Ning as the other fight continues or starts up. The bottom lane taken down. Big shutdown onto JackeyLove. Now the fight continues, and the Karma drops as well. RNG run face first into Invictus Gaming.
That was Karsa going around the world. Xiohu got picked off, sure, but we've seen enough Snake Esports games to be able to say you do not want the dominoes to fall. If one person goes down, that doesn't give you the right to be able to fall down just as well. Oh no.
Karsa's in a bad position. He doesn't have the ult available. Jedikris arrow isn't as well. He flashes on top of Baolan. Can't find the support. RNG, what's going on? Xiohu comes in, has to flash after a teleport, and RNG, this is not good play.
This is why you feel happy that there's no officer on the Rift, because you're not going to be getting that DUI. At the moment, Karsa is not playing well. That just made no sense. 2 plays in a row because it was Xiohu that got picked off. That's fair, right? Picking up a control ward. He has his jungler in the area. But my questions lie, and I wonder how long this replay is going to be going for. Because here goes Karsa. He's on that journey. Let's go. Whatever music you're playing right now, play it. Because he's running the distance, while at the same time, IG finds the pick onto the AD carry, onto Ming, who are on the proper objective, by the way. This is what you should be playing for. But then Olaf finds in the end, he's like, oh, okay.
He's still there.
But it's fine. He was like, maybe I can stick around, and that's when he dies. We already saw that.
Yeah.
That's just the weirdest thing from RNG, and it gives hope that IG can pick up this win.
Yeah, the goal's just right back to where it started. Look who got the shutdown. JackeyLove, I said he was out of this game apart from his arrow, and the fact that Uzi was just so far ahead. Uzi is still far ahead, but JackeyLove right back into the swing with the first item.
Just shows the pick potential Invictus Gaming had off their draft. I mean, you have CC on all members. Braum, Zoe's, Ashe, Rek'Sai to a lesser extent, but you also have the Kennen. Across the board, there's playmaking from Invictus Gaming, so if you ever try to isolate yourself, RNG can get picked up in a numbers game.
Looks like RNG want to make it closer. Looks like RNG want... I'd say this normally with Invictus Gaming, set themselves up for more of a challenge, but that's definitely not the case. It's an Ocean Dragon now picked up for IG and more control.
And one thing we like to talk about is the Zoe win quite consistently in the LPL being so high, around 70% at the moment. It was 80% at one point. Is the fact that once you gain control, I mean, if she doesn't have control ordinarily in a lot of these matchups, it's difficult. But once you have control on the right side of the map, you can already see there's a control ward in that bush. There's a nice decent terrain that you can work around and threaten the Galio or whoever picks up mid lane wave. It's more threatening when you take that outer turret. How long the wall is, the terrain is on either side of this wall. Now you can realistically throw the Sleepy Trouble Bubble right into the secondary tower. So the reason why it's just such a successful pick is because you keep them mid lane. When you have a lead, you can consistently get control wards on either side of the wall and be able to make plays like these.
Just like this, Rift Herald comes out, Ming, Base Call has to be used. Uzi's still strong, remember, saves his support, but can he save the turret? Because the Rift Herald is going to get a full charge. It is gone.
It's the parade, my friends. Let's see how far this one goes.
The Troll Bubble is still threatening. Now the turret's gone. We talked about extending the mid lane and how it can affect.
Karsa, where are you running?
Trying to get a flank in, Raz, but Rift Herald gets another charge. Look at where Karsa is. They don't know themselves. 1v4. Ragnarok popped again. Can the Viking recover? Maybe not. TheShy's on top of him. Goes gold. Kennen in the back line. TheShy comes into one damn fight and makes it big, but TheShy does as well. TheShy may have gotten a lot, but the Vladimir is still full health. Xiohu needs to run as Ning and TheShy chase him down, and Xiohu has one chance.
Don't
he needs a Justice Punch. Only just, but the tunnel system, Raz, it's coming up. It's a long road, so you better get this party started. Xiohu taunts him. Ning still, he's alive. The fastest commando Galio of Tom Cruise I've ever seen.
That was insane from both top laners, actually. Not only was TheShy wreaking havoc off the Kennen ultimate, but the tie into the back line. Just eviscerating them. I want to draft your eyes to Karsa. He just wanted to find a way to start the fight, so I can give him that one. TheShy into the back line, getting both rookie, JackeyLove, all of them. But at the same time, TheShy said, like, what? Look at me. It's a game of carry top laners that are just creating havoc right now.
Which one is better? Not too sure. Both have had fantastic games. We're going to show all this, Raz.
I was ready, dog. I was ready to go the distance. We've seen our, share of long replays. I was expecting for that one.
We're going to ourselves a maybe longer game at this point as well. 31k on both teams. 17 minutes in, but JackeyLove saved by Baolan. The Ren still hits him though.
You always have to look at the minion wave, because if he got one minion, close enough so you can rend it and get the reset off of it, you're getting slowed, and the damage from Ren is going to follow up. Yep. That's just the constant game that JackeyLove wasn't ready for. He didn't have Flash 2. He's just about to get it. That was so close for him to just die right then and there.
Has the arrow though, so a bit more safety there with that flash up and available as well. Remember, teleport on this 80 carry, not heal, and Baolan doesn't have flash to jump in front of him. So JackeyLove now under real threat. Will sit in the mid lane. Uzi's still so far ahead, but look at other members on the other side of RNG. While Xiohu still doesn't have his first item 18 minutes in the game, he's been roaming so much. TheShy has Spellbinder first. This is some Vladimir build that's like, we're going to party, we're going to go for it.
Right in the thick of things, right? Don't have that Predator to be able to start the fight, but if you can utilize the, in the fight you can utilize the phase rush, but of course you can get the Spellbinder rolling for you. It's nice that he recognized he does enough damage into the backline. He doesn't need something extra. So this is pretty damn good from TheShy as overall in these team fights. But you can just see how hard it is, for Karsa in particular, to get these fights rolling. Because if you think about how idealistically these fights start, it's Karsa in the backline, Galio to follow up, and then from that point forward you have Uzi and TheShy starting to follow through with damage either from the flank or in front to back. But he's getting just abolished, just completely sent away as the fight goes through.
Uzi actually took that red buff as well.
Here we go.
Karsa going to need to tank up pretty soon. This time Cinderhulk on the Olaf rather than the Warriors we saw out of Ning, and a redemption here for the Olaf too. So a bit more safe in the build here, as Karsa needs to be in these fights.
Also the visual upgrade on the Kennen. So of course, new patch, we get to see some lovely Kennen visuals. I love to see some nice things. I just don't like blocky characters and just animations in my game.
Ooh. Karsa's going to be okay. Doesn't have to pop the ultimate. No, it's a good visual update. You're right.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Lightning looks a lot more delicious, A lot more.
I wouldn't use the delicious.
I would use delicious.
I think it's just an Australian thing. Okay, I'm going to pin it all in Australia.
Yeah. In Australia, we eat lightning apparently.
Yeah.
We're a backwards kind of place.
Oh!
Karsa at half. That's not a good start at the fight. Run away from the sleepy trouble bubble. But meanwhile, RNG actually have the inner side track to the mid lane.
I like that RNG is doing this, recognizing that two members are going to be on this one. They may not have vision of this, but certainly with the amount of members that are contesting them through mid, that at this point RNG would have stopped them. Oh, here we go. All right, just finding their way right back to get position on their inner turret.
Didn't get the mid lane turret. Man, that's a big one there. Rookie zoning them away. This game comes to a standstill. I love it. Why is every game 3 with RNG and IG? Just like this? Why do we go the distance
That's the thing with the LPL, I would say. Whenever it comes to our best teams, I would even throw EDG with their monstrous performance versus TOP earlier tonight. Of course, on top of that, TOP. Whenever you get these teams, not only do you get these level of team fights, individual outplays, all of that, just the ability to refine the fights. If you are behind, if you have such a major deficit, as this game, Invictus Gaming, certainly were behind, they just find ways to come right back. I think the comeback potential with so many of these teams, because they're creative enough and they look to challenge through fighting, is something that a lot of regions should be able to study. Because it's risky. It's something that you look at and you say, well, it's much easier to just play through minion waves, hold on tight, and hope that the enemy team makes a mistake. And a lot of the times for these games that are in question, yeah, it's true. A lot of teams in the world right now still make mistakes. But at this stage, if you are confident enough in your own mechanical skill, and of course in this case IG has just so many picks in their composition, they just go for it. They're gonna have to do something now. Remember
that tempo in the LPL is different as well, so those mistakes are heightened by the level of play needed. Like Uzi right now in Xiohu, who doesn't flash but looks for the shield of Duran. That ultimate from Baolan kind of saved the fight.
But JackeyLove had to flash that one. Once again, Uzi just jumps right in there, hopping like a crazy man to be able to get the kill on JackeyLove. He was so close to getting those the lethal stacks available. But IG have pressure on Baron.
4 members here. They don't choose to take it, instead looking for the fight as Ming might be caught out here. Paddle Star. Troll Bubble is aimed towards the middle. TheShy's joined the fight as well.
Now this is the danger of having a Karma in the midst of your lineup, because not having the position to walk up towards an objective, this is when you start talking about, oh, maybe if we had a Tahm Kench, a Braum, like, or an Alistar, a lot of these picks that you look back in laning phase and say, this is what we sacrificed to have this composition. Now look at her items. She's gone towards the double chalice because she's gone towards Athene Unholy Grail and the Mikhail's Crucible. So she has both of that. I was expecting an Ardent Sensor that's just so damn strong.
Yeah.
But he's so focused on having the maximized shields and the ability, of course, to save someone from a CC with so much available in IG. He's completely defensive.
Yeah, that's right. Ming might be going for it as a 4th item as well. I know on the Karma build, you can also start optimizing for damage in the final elements of your build path as well. Rabadon's death cap has been the final, but we're talking 30, 40 minutes here. Still needs the upgraded boots, which you don't normally see there on the Karma support this early on. Turret went down. All right. Bottom side and top side opened up. This is the big thing. Long lanes at the side lanes. And pick potential. Uzi survives. Karsa angry again. Rek'Sai ult in. Ning. Wrong move. Rendered again. Healed up. Karsa lives on. RNG, they've got a 5 versus 4 on their hands with Baron in front of them.
I'm sorry, I'm missing something. Where did that come from? Where did the Rek'Sai even come and go? I thought that Rookie had created a perfect opportunity on the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. He even got the ultimate from Karsa.
Yeah, hang on, Uzi, stop it! Will be able to heal it up, shield it up, still alive, ignited, finishes him off. IG just get one again. TheShy has to flash away, Ming has one more concussive blow, but TheShy finishes him off. Back and forth, there's the Trouble Bubble going to be sent out as well. But what is going on, Raz?
This is where range starts to play a factor. Not only is Uzi just disrespecting a lot of the range that's coming at him, but how does he really pick up the team fights if it's not started by the Olaf or the Vladimir? A lot of these, maybe the Galio, for instance. Then how does he walk up to the Kennen, who has the ultimate? Zoe, who's going to be throwing Sleepy Trouble Bubbles at you, and with great accuracy, apparently.
Yeah.
And JackeyLove, who's aiming straight towards you.
How are you going to survive this fight? Xiohu doesn't find the shield of Duran as Zoe uses the fake flash.
3k HP.
Karsa needs to get in, but the Trouble Bubble need to Ragnarok at half health. Where's Karsa? Into the pit. He gets destroyed before getting anywhere near. TheShy with the Hemo Plague gets clawed at by Ning. 2 kills for Invictus Gaming, the Baron buff, and a 4k gold lead.
What a throw this game has turned into. And you're really starting to see how difficult it is for the composition of RNG when they lost that lead. You can really, if you're a detective out there, anybody, like case closed, I don't care if you 2D. Just take a look at that early Rift Herald fight where 2 members of RNG, Ming and Uzi, were on that. Xiohu gets picked off, but like all of that, really, you can direct that, all of the problems that they have right now to that moment. Because at this time, IG are ready to pick that fight, and the flash in from TheShy was glorious. Of course, not only is Uzi able to get out of that, the exhaust was also crucial, but he's going to die anyways, had to blow his flash, so now he doesn't have summoners.
Even though this game has been so back and forth, Game 1, Game 2, classic world-class games from both RNG and IG. Difference here in this game is it's just like a ping-pong match. Whoever's going to throw the furthest, I'm not sure. But at this point, it's still coming down to those big team fights. TheShy waiting in the brush. RNG trying to fight back, and this is a big way.
It's just IG has full control of the blue side jungle, which is how RNG needs to be able to get back into it.
TheShy onto JackeyLove, the flank is there. Braum stops it up. The Hemo Plague doesn't find any damage. Flank negated by Invictus Gaming. The push is still there.
Yeah, the flank needed to come from blue side jungle, but you see IG has had that cordoned off. If Vladimir comes from the front, okay, that's fine. We've got Braum. Hold up that door.
So JackeyLove doesn't die. The Baron buff minions are still pushing in. He works away at the inhibitor turret. RNG cannot clear this. They have to give up the inhibitor as well, it looks like. And this has just turned IG back into the driver's seat.
This is where focus now comes on towards Xiohu. He has flash, he has his taunt quite obviously. He needs to be able to get in there, get the taunt on either TheShy, Ning. They're squishy enough that maybe you can double down on that. But it's harder and harder at every moment.
Yeah, no ult for TheShy as well, meaning it's harder to neglect this 5v5. Uzi takes a massive shot to the face, and Invictus Gaming pushing in with that Baron buff. TheShy can just stand here, and that means mid lane turret goes down as well.
And Rookie's really simplified this one. He's throwing every sleepy trouble he can on towards Uzi. Recognize that's where the gold is.
This could be the final fight. TheShy in with the slicing maelstrom goes golden. This for Invictus Gaming, the nail in the coffin, looking for revenge. But Uzi still alive. The ultimate popped on early. He gets the rend. But it might not be enough, Raz. Invictus Gaming have 3 members.
These are long death timers. Huge. Right now, I don't know if you can do it, RNG, but you have to try. It has to be off of TheShy.
Rookie has a heal. TheShy comes in for his very first series of 2019. TheShy walks up to him. Rookie comes in with the portal jump. But Baron buff is there, Raz. Will it be enough? Rookie, hammer down. Exhaust down as well. Ragnarok is not there. Karsa delays it, but is it enough again?
5 seconds on Galio, but it's just not enough.
The Baron buff minions are coming in, and for Invictus Gaming, revenge is a swift dish. Not enough from TheShy. Invictus Gaming take down their rivals in RNG.
So close. This series, people will be looking back at it all 3 games. Especially the 3rd one, because RNG had it. I already talked about the starting point of it all, but you just lose footing with 1 point, and it all goes onto the wayside. Losing that Rift Herald fight, the burden has to go towards like Karsa in that instance and Xiohu. 2 of the MVP performers throughout the split. But it's Invictus Gaming, they show up, have an outstanding Game 1 performance, and on Game 3, it's a battle of the top laners. At least RNG can come out ahead and say that we may have lost this series, but TheShy looked so good.
He did.
IG looks so damn good after this one.
We look at this series,
yeah,
and we say that could be the finals.
Yeah,
right?
it could.
Game 3 not reminiscent of the way that series really felt, but of course TheShy coming in is a great point, Raz. That this feels like, yeah, look, it's old RNG again. It's a tie in the top lane. There's no Let Me. That'd be nice if Let Me just came in out of retirement as Rookie's just spilled water on his keyboard, but.
Got that positive energy. Got that positive vibe.
Really
because there's a lot to be positive about. People will look at that series and be like, well, I mean, Invictus Gaming coming out with the win, world champions, all that, and say that that's to be expected, especially with where they're currently ranked in the standings. But for me, I got more out of that.
Yeah.
I got that RNG for their first series, bringing TheShy right back into it. He had a damn good performance against the best.
He really did.
And so RNG seemed ready for the playoff time. Imagine, this was a best of 3, but these guys have gone to a best of 5 so often that this could very easily be a best of 5 if we had let it.
Really
we had
could.
said, okay, refs, get off the stage.
We're going in our own time.
We keep going, all right? We're just going to see who ends up getting to the first 3 games.
And, I mean, remember, speaking of history, like for Invictus Gaming, RNG have been a thorn in their sides. They've been the constant disruptor to their regular split and to the finals. I mean, Invictus Gaming still no domestic title.
Yeah, 18-1, 18-1, both splits. It was just one little dent by RNG.
Yeah.
Always making it so IG couldn't get that perfect split. And so IG at this point, they know what their prize is. It's not the regular season anymore. With how successful they've been in the regular season, they know it's more than that. Like, they were able to be at the mountain peak, right? They got to the point where they're like, okay, we're the world champions, but we're still not domestic champions.
Yeah.
So really about this series, it's more about the lessons that they're learning in terms of how their early game should be faring, how much we're getting out of JackeyLove. Because JackeyLove, even though in the team fights got outplayed in certain situations in Game 2, I thought we're seeing much better out of JackeyLove if we're comparing it to now to 2018.
Absolutely.
He has the experience now. He recognizes how to be able to deal with the lane pressure. And man, is that lane pressure vivid.
Yeah.
The amount of dives we saw in this game, it's disgusting that RNG didn't pick that one up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That was a crazy Game 3. I mean, I'm not sure what further to say about Game 3.
But it just says that never say die attitude. The fact that you get dive in between 2 turrets, lose out control, like complete waves, and they even dancing too, man. They hear music in their minds. That these teams are coming out pretty damn good, even with IG coming out with the series win. I just want to see a best of 5, man.
Yeah. No,
I know we're just 1 week away.
I'm looking forward to it as well. RNG, still like with playoff implications and everything as well. We talked about the strength of schedule going forward. You still expect to see RNG. I mean, they're sitting at 9.
Yep.
9 seems to be the safe number at this point as well, considering how we're looking at 8th. So it's curious because the higher you up in the standings, the higher your placement there in that playoffs as well.
Yeah, they're getting higher and higher, and we'll need to see what that turns out for them. I think we're getting to a point where RNG, remember in previous splits, they've been the team that has always been regarded as the best when they went towards MSI as champions, like Asian Games and all of that. But in terms of the regular season, they've always kind of fallen flat because we would expect them hitting the 1st and 2nd seed, but they never really were that team to do that. They always came online in playoffs. This time around, it seems like they're surging back again, trying to get as many games as possible so they don't have to run the huge gauntlet.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a gauntlet for the playoffs. That's what I want to be able to see. That I just don't want to see RNG have to start from round 1. Like that's just insane to say. Going up against Snake and WE last time was just like too much.
Yeah, and this time might even be WE as well. Who knows what's going on in the rest of the LPL. This match of the week delivered though. Game 1 and Game 2 is what will be my focus taking away from here. Game 2 for RNG. Game 1, coming back to your point of JackeyLove, that was insane. Like that one team fight that we saw to open things up.
Yeah.
When JackeyLove flashes over the wall, sends the Fates call in the middle of the side. Just the commitment to play for Invictus Gaming looked so clean in that first game.
Yeah, and it really just shows that you should always respect. Doesn't matter how much of an advantage that you have, right? These teams, we're getting to a point where these teams are clean. EDG went up against TLP.
That was clean.
Another clean game. Where if you make that one mistake, then you have to be creative enough to find a way around it because the control wars that these top teams now are being able to place heavily in their jungle, flanks are harder. Scrappier team fights are non-existent in my eyes. So you're getting to a point where if you do see a scrappy team fight, man is the team that's behind really looking for that.
Yeah.
It's all about teams trying to be as disciplined as possible, and I think the teams that were this today was Invictus Gaming, EDG, and I'll give RNG a little bit of that.
Maybe Game 2 that was very disciplined in Game 2, a lot cleaner than what we saw finally. But in that Game 3, TheShy picks up MVP. Now, in that game, a lot of argument to be made about Rookie once again, but this man just had a great series as usual. A great couple of games as usual.
Just picture perfect. If you watch these team fights, it was a game where Vladimir, like TheShy was in the back just going wild on the carries.
Yep.
And then I had missed initially. TheShy do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It was just both of these guys came out big, and that's why I'd love to see it. This was the one that I think I was referencing to. Yeah. Yes, it was.
Big focus on TheShy in this fight.
Boom. It was first this TheShy finding himself in the back line. But you're right. This MVP, man of the match. TheShy finds himself picking up Uzi as well. So it's great to see carry top laners coming back. Doesn't matter how long these games are going on.
Yep.
At first, I thought, I was like, are we just going to see Poppy, Maokai, like all these top
Even if I saw
matchups?
Sion, I think I would have been happy from TheShy anyway.
But we're seeing so many carry options in this series alone. Game 1, we saw Silas. Silas was banned in Game 2.
Yep.
You're starting to recognize that Silas is a fantastic champion in the top lane.
Oh, yeah.
He is broken. So, like, in terms of how much shove that he had, that is just guaranteed. And then, of course, he's flexed between mid and top lane to begin with. If you are a Silas and you are behind, then sure, that's an issue. But you should never be behind in lane as Silas. He should be ahead in the lane regardless of the counter matchup that he's going up against.
He gets level 16 and his ultimate has, 10-second cooldown. He has 5 ultimates to fight. So it's about what you're versing. In that game, he was versing some pretty cool stuff. You didn't like the Grand Challenge. I loved it. I tell you what, I love the Silas game.
He has a lot. Look, you have to remember, Grand Challenge is just stuffed with stats.
Yeah, of course.
Including the movement speed.
Of course.
So he's just running around now. He's like, I got this off you.
There's threat, on the Fiora. There was a lot going on in that game, but this whole series long, there was a lot going on. A lot going on today. The standings, everything's changed once again. Invictus Gaming picking up that win. Look at what's going on. Back on top with FPX and TOP.
10 wins apiece. FPX, IG, and TOP, of course, they've all locked themselves in towards the playoffs. Easier said than done. FPX are really close to being able to nail that first place spot, knowing that they only had 2 losses. Just depends on how they go going forward.
Yeah. And remember earlier today, Victory 5 losing to Suning, just on that note as well. Victory 5 unfortunately out, but Suning still in the run for playoffs, but they're hoping for a lot out of BLG, WE, and EDG.
If you're looking at 11th to 16th, then you better not. All those teams are gone. It's about Suning, Sino Dragons, EDG, BLG, all these teams that are trying to juggle for it. I guess not EDG now that they're finding victories so easily, so handily. But if you're Suning, and if you already didn't lose faith I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to be at your funeral at all, but I'm just saying it's not looking good.
Suning had their own. Let's check out what's going on tomorrow. And Clement gave them their own send-away funeral.
Really? Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, he was very rough with it.
Okay.
Tomorrow, another big match to start you off. Let's go.
Wow. We've seen these type of series already, so FPX BLG is a big one, of course. It's just powerhouses, and BLG is trying to find a way to not be out of playoffs. That's how close they are, and that's how tough their schedule is. VG Gaming and WE, I mean, VG Gaming are out of it, so they may just be throwing new members in, but WE, once again, another in position to secure playoff spot, while Rogue Warriors and OMG is just having fun in Chengdu, my friend.
We got your old man, Huang Guy in the bottom lane.
That's true, and they're going to have fun in Chengdu. I know thing about Chengdu, just a fun fact, it's a paradise city. It's a city where good food as well.
I said hot food, but sure.
Okay, fine. But like, good food anyways.
Okay.
But it's a city where you can just calm down. I went to one of their their cafes, their parks. You see a lot of old people, and I think Huang Guy would be right at home.
Okay, well apparently I need to calm down, so I'll take a look at Chengdu when I have some time. But Rogue Warriors OMG will finish off tomorrow for you. That'll finish off week number 9. Then we go into week 10, our final week of the LPL, and that is going to be absolutely massive. Cementing places there, knowing that, okay, teams like WE, BLG, still not safe, still need those wins on the board. We'll find out tomorrow, Raz. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to our production here at Dominion. And thank you for tuning in for IG and RNG. I hope it impressed you as much as it impressed us. We'll see you tomorrow. More LPL.